So I want to mention yesterday's fellowship and the biblical question from last week. Who is dumber, men or women? Who is dumber, men or women? And all that week, all last week, it was interesting. I said to the people once, some people were saying women, some people were saying men, some ladies were saying women, and some men were saying ladies, and it was back and forth about everybody, all right? But when I realized I don't know who's dumber, human nature is so dumb, it's hard to know which one is dumber. Because in that human nature, we do some dumb stuff. Men and women do really, really dumb things. For example, we try to get love from one another. Men and women try to get love from one another. And when they get married or if they live together, it doesn't work. And then a fight start. Because they're trying to get something from one another that they don't have to give. And so they fight. Isn't that amazing? Is that dumb or what? Another thing I noticed is that human beings always blame someone else for the way they feel. They blame others for if they feel good, quote unquote, or they feel bad, quote unquote. If they have fear, quote unquote. You made me feel this way, they say. You made me afraid, they say. You made me lonely by leaving. You made me be revengeful. You made me gossip. You did that. You did this. Isn't that like dumb? Think about that. You are an individual adult individual who is responsible for your own life. No one else is. And you feel things and you do things and you blame others. Think about that. You blame others. Men and women. Isn't that dumb? Human nature is evil. Human nature is evil. And everything that human beings do is evil. There's no love. But because you're in a fallen state, and most are not seeking to overcome, they don't know that. They say we are human. And so that's why we do it. And you haven't learned the principle that if the crowd is doing it, or believing it, or saying it, that means something is wrong with it. It doesn't mean that it's right. Just because everyone is doing it or saying it, it doesn't mean that it's right. You haven't learned. You haven't learned that basic principle. If you don't learn anything else today, if you don't realize anything else today, I want you to remember that if the crowd is saying it or doing it, it's wrong. Really. You can hang it up. It is wrong. The crowd is always wrong. The crowd cannot be right. That's why the straight and narrow path is only for the few. Because it's the few that's going to pull away from the crowd, family members, people, places, things, or whatever. They're going to let go of it and take that straight and narrow path. So, brand new biblical question. And it's a doozy. It's like, Mamma mia, hola, si, senor, doozy. It's a doozy. Why do you carry out the works of the flesh? Why do you carry out the works of the flesh? That is a doozy question. That is a mamma mia, hola, si, senor question. Why do you carry out the work of the flesh? Amazing. For those who just tuned in, on Friday, I had some work done on my eye. All right, so that's why I have the patch. I had to wear a patch for a minute so that you don't see all the redness in my eyes from the work and the light being too bright for now. Just for a week. I think a week or maybe or less. Some of you know about this fake holiday called Juneteenth, and it's a black thing. And what happened was the way this so-called Juneteenth thing about when slavery ended, apparently a few people, blacks in Texas, didn't know about it, that slavery had ended. And when, I don't know how long it took, but whenever they got the word that slavery ended, they were like, why you didn't tell us, right? And then as a result, they started a holiday. And they call that holiday Juneteenth. And I think it's like a shut-down holiday, a national holiday. Because a few black people didn't know slavery ended. You shut down your business and everything. Isn't that amazing? I want my country back. It is not coming back. And as a result of this so-called black holiday, every time they celebrate it, the blacks end up killing one another. Some of them, not all. Not all. There's always a shooting. It's like you put your life at risk to go to a black event because you know there will be some shooting. Somebody going to get killed. How can you enjoy an event like that? And why can't black people get together at least one time without shooting, without a fight, without killing one another? Why is that? Think about that, folks. Why is that? What's wrong with the blacks that every time they have an event, somebody going to either have fights, breakouts, or killing or both? According to ABC, 2 killed, 14 wounded suspect black. 2 killed, 14 wounded. Suspect black. And this happened in Round Rock, Texas. I want you to watch this first soundbite from Fox 7 Austin. Watch this.
Shots rang out around 10:50 Saturday night at Old Settlers Park during Round Rock's annual Juneteenth celebration.
Folks started running, wounded. You saw people on the ground who folks were doing CPR on. It was just pure chaos.
Thousands were at the event when Round Rock police say a fight broke out near the vendor area.
We do know there was 2 separate groups that got into an altercation with each other. This investigation will tell us what it started over, why it happened, and again, holding them responsible and accountable.
According to police, innocent bystanders were shot. 2 of them died and 14 were taken to the hospital. Their ages range from 10 to 62 years old. First responders at the event were able to assist the victims.
Most of those victims have been released from the hospital. The remaining victims are in stable condition and are expected to be released anytime within the next day or so.
Police were unable to locate a gunman, but did provide a description of a person of interest.
We are looking for a black male, 5'7", thin build, approximately 19, 20 years of age, with short dreads, and he was last seen wearing a white hoodie.
Amazing. What's wrong with the blacks? Why can't they have a nice event without fights or killing one another, others? And why do you love the thrill so much that you put your life at risk? You got to go. Why? You know if it's a black event, it's going to be a fight. And people don't deal with that. They don't deal with the anger of the blacks as to where it really come from. They have these black people thinking their anger come from white people, and it doesn't. It starts in the home. They too have to overcome their mothers. They must forgive their mothers and grandmothers. The anger starts there, and then they go out into the world, and the world, being evil, tell the people it's white, it's racism, it's this and that, and it's not true. Look what's happening. No love. I'm not surprised to hear about this. Why would you go? You love feeling good that much that you put your life at risk, your family life at risk? Here's a little bit more on that story from Fox 7 Austin.
people were just rushing out of there, so it was hard, if not nearly impossible, to contain that immediate area where a lot of victims were. And then leaving the park just right here, they, had flashlights, ARs, are you hurt? Did you see anything?
According to Round Rock Police Chief Alan Banks, there were dozens of law enforcement officers at the event and 2 Skywatch towers.
Juneteenth is an open-air venue, which means that there is no security points. It is an open park with the stage in it. We had over 22 law enforcement personnel assigned to the event. Fire department and EMS was also assigned to the event itself.
Just getting out, not knowing where the suspects were, it was terrifying. I don't know that there was ever a moment that I thought I'm safe.
The mayor of Round Rock thanked first responders during a press conference and weighed in on the deadly shooting.
Our hearts are broken by last night's tragic events. We grieve with the families who have lost loved ones and stand with those who were injured. We are here for you.
This is the 16th year of this Juneteenth event here in the city of Round Rock. And for someone to destroy that peace and destroy the celebration in just an instant angers me. Turn yourself in. Turn yourself in. You're man enough to carry a gun and pull the trigger. Be man enough to step up. Turn yourself in. Let's figure out why you chose to take lives and injure people.
Amazing. Mind-blowing, huh? Nobody loved the blacks enough to tell them where the anger really is coming from. It started in the home. It's the nature of their mothers and grandmothers. And no one is telling them how to overcome it. They're using the blacks for personal gain. They want the blacks angry. They want them killing one another. They want the violence. That's how these people get money, because they say, hey, we need more money. Racism. If they had a job or something stupid, they say. They want them doing this. If not, they would tell the blacks how to overcome the anger. It has nothing to do with white people. And it's not going to get better until you point the way. It's of the heart. The heart is wicked. When I was growing up in Alabama, you never heard of any stuff like that. We would go out to the 4th of July celebration, different celebration at the park like that, and different churches. They were holding events around the churches. You never had this. You never even thought that this would happen in the good old days when boys were boys and men were men. You never even thought that this would happen. You went out, you had a good time, you went home, and it was an amazing time. Blacks have not always been this way, folks. The only time I really saw black people fighting was when I would go up to Indiana and then to California. And when we did see a fight with the blacks in Alabama, it's rare, but it'd be some girls fighting over some guy. And that was rare. This is not the way blacks have always been. I want you to know that. They have not always been this way. Blacks are being used now. They want you angry and out of control. This is what they want for you. I don't blame the race hustlers, though I do know that they are being used. They're using the black for personal gain. I blame the adult black themselves, because you're responsible for you. No one can make you do anything. You're doing it because you want to. So I don't blame them, but I do know that they want the blacks in this condition. That's why they always, instead of telling them how to get better, they tell them how to get worse. Blame somebody else. Come up with a new term. Reggie, a first-time call out of California.
You know, Jesse, you keep saying that you were raised on a plantation.
Yes.
And you could do this and you could do that. You live a wonderful life. But let me ask you this. Could you go off that plantation and work like at a bank or a grocery store or any white establishment? I mean, we could get work. We could do different things in the community. But it rarely seldom that a black get an opportunity to be a businessman, to be, what he really wants to do.
But every black that I know, every black that I knew growing up, They did what they wanted to do. If they want, you mentioned college. If they wanted to go to college, they went to college. If they wanted to start a business, right.
We could go to college, but and even today, you get a degree. It's not about race.
Right.
It's about opportunity. It's about,
And when you say it's about opportunity, what do you mean by that?
Giving black people the opportunity to do all that they want. We can't get jobs after we graduate out of college.
Why you can't?
We can get a degree. We can get, cause you think they're going to give you the job instead of the white person?
Yes. How would you know if they gave it to you or didn't give it to you because of your color? How would you know that?
Because it happens time and time again.
But black people people who own business do that too. They hire other blacks over white people.
Well, that's true. That's true.
Is that right or wrong for them to do that?
Actually, to them it's right.
I'm asking you, is that right or wrong to do that?
No, it's not right.
So then what's...
It's not right. But it's not about with the black people hiring other white people. It's like white people, they trust white people. They think white people won't rob or steal they stuff.
But black people don't trust black people because they know that the black's going to rob and steal.
But that's not necessarily. A lot of black people are raised up in Christian families.
Those are some of the worst.
Decent people.
Because if they didn't think that way, Reggie, why do black people, when they do want to start a business, they go outside of the black?
You like driving?
They go outside of the black community and start a business. They don't start business in the black community because they know black people are going to steal.
Okay, now what does that do for the black community?
Is that true or not?
On occasion, yeah.
Right.
On occasion.
And so what's wrong with white people being concerned that if they should hire the black people are going to steal? Since the black people know that black people are going to steal, so what's wrong with the whites protecting themselves?
But it's wrong because it's not always the case.
But then
you cannot say a whole race of black people. Everybody would steal.
No one said that, but I asked.
That. You can't.
No one said that. No one said the whole black, not all, but most.
That's what. Now you saying most.
I always say not all, but most.
But you saying that black people ordinarily then.
I'm sorry.
Would steal and rob ordinarily.
What?
You said that black people ordinarily would steal and rob from the company, so they should hire white people.
I said that black people don't hire other black people. They don't start business in the black community because they know that the black's going to steal. And they are reluctant to even hire black. I remember black people because they know that blacks, they're going to be late, they're going to be lazy, they're going to complain. And even now, white people don't want to hire because the moment the whites have to correct them, the black people, I'm going to sue you for racism. You're discriminating.
And so
the white people don't want to be bothered with all that.
So do you think that black people shouldn't be given a chance to prove that they're honest, to prove that they're trustworthy?
I never said that.
Okay, so if they're not given a chance,
let me ask you this.
How are they supposed to succeed if they're not given a chance, which they're not given a chance?
That's not true.
On the majority.
White people are hiring black people today out of fear of being called racist. And so they're hiring them and they put up with a whole bunch of mess because the blacks know that they don't really have to do anything. They don't have to be good at what they do. They can show up late. They can do whatever they want, and they're still going to get a job, have a job, because the white people are not going to fire them for fear of being called racist. But Reggie, let me ask, why do black people think? Because when I was growing up, it wasn't this type of thinking under the Jim Crow law and all that stuff. Why do black people think they need...
That kind of thinking wasn't allowed, Jesse.
No one can stop you from thinking.
You wasn't allowed to think that.
Let me ask you this.
You were hung from a tree for thinking that.
Reggie, why do black people need white people to give them an opportunity? Why can't they create their own opportunity? What's wrong with them?
You know, the last time black people created their opportunity was Tulsa. You remember what happened in Tulsa?
Yeah, a couple of blacks and white had a fight, and they had a riot. They had a riot. I'm telling you what happened. Hold on. And they had a riot. They had a riot, and during that riot, they destroyed a lot of stuff. And then when the riot was over, the black people went and rebuilt so-called Black Wall Street. They didn't sit around and wait for some white man to rebuild for them. They did it themselves.
You gotta learn your history. You don't know your history.
I'm telling you, they rebuilt Wall Street, Black Wall Street. But let me ask you, you didn't answer my question.
They did not rebuild Wall Street.
Why do black people think that white people need to give them an opportunity? Why can't they create their own opportunities? Hey, William.
Hey, Jesse.
You're on with Reggie.
Oh,
so what do you want from the white man then, Reggie?
That's what I want to know.
I done told you that. I'm saying we need opportunities to work outside of the farm. we could always work on the farm. There's no question. We can.
Well, why can't you create your own opportunity?
That's right.
Because what happened in Tulsa, that's why we can't.
Tulsa.
So what we can do is we can integrate. That's the only thing we can do. We can't go back to Africa.
Thank you, William. Reggie, call me again. Reggie, call me again. I got to take a break. Thank you, buddy. I was thinking about Reggie's call from California, and he was black. He is black. And it's so interesting to me because I wasn't raised that way in Alabama, under plantation, under Jim Crow law. I was never taught, not by example or told, that the white man owed me an opportunity. I was never told that I cannot make it in America because of my color. And so, as a matter of fact, when I was growing up, I was taught to work. I wasn't thinking that the white man needs to give me an opportunity. But when I would go to a white establishment for a job, I just went there to apply for a job. I didn't think I would get it or not get it. And if I didn't get it, I didn't think, I didn't get it because I was black. I would just go to another job or another company. And especially with black men, you just don't walk around thinking that you can't do it on your own. You need somebody else to give it to you. Before I go back to the phones, I just want to show you something that is pure evil. Pure evil. And jealousy. Remember last week we talked about Caitlin Clark? And Caitlin Clark is a white girl who is bad. About as bad as a female can be in basketball, right? Female basketball. And she's bad. She's tough. She's hot, and she can't be stopped. She's hot, she's bad, and she can't be stopped. And the black girls on the basketball teams are jealous about that because it's a white girl who putting them to shame. And now instead of trying to get better, they are trying to destroy this girl. And it's pure jealousy. And jealousy is evil. You shouldn't be jealous of another person. You should wish them well. They're starting to turn sports into a riot. Isn't that amazing? Because they're jealous black girls. This is where Caitlin Clark fouled by Angie Reese. Watch what they do to Caitlin. This is from CBS Sports.
Clark, hammer. 3 Sky players coming over. At the top, the official is pointing to his head here, and I think they're going to look at this. To review it. The foul, I believe, to Angel Reese. Yep, across the head, and they will go to the monitor to review this one. Yeah, that's
Reese
right.
is being reviewed for a possible upgrade to a flagrant.
I think it'll be upgraded here.
And that's evil. She hit the girl upside the head, came from behind her. You're not even allowed to do that as a cowboy. You have to make sure you're in front of the person when you shoot them. But this is evil. This is what's holding black people back in life. Not all, but most. Not all, but most. Jealousy of the white man. Jealousy of the white man. And in this case, white woman. Black people, you got to drop your evil. You're holding yourself back. Evil is never good. You're supposed to love one another, appreciate one another. Be your best. Work on you being your best. And wish everybody else well, whatever they decide for their lives. I played this thing with Caitlin Clark.
Yes.
Followed by Angie Reese.
Angel Reese.
Angel Reese. Angel Reese, right?
Correct.
From CBS Sports. Watch this.
So you see Angel Reese is behind her. Her arm comes up and hits her in the head.
Now the official is pointing to his head here, and I think they're going to look at this. To review it.
The foul, I believe, to Angel Reese. Yep, across the head, and they will go to the monitor to review this one.
Yeah, that's right.
Reese is being reviewed for a
Listen
possible
there.
upgrade to a flagrant.
I think it'll be upgraded here.
Amazing.
Yes. She was the jealous one, if you remember her. She was like,
This Angel Reese.
Angel
here?
Reese.
Yeah.
She said, if they're going to talk about the WNBA in the future, it's not just because of one person.
Yeah.
Because they're giving all this attention to Caitlin.
I wonder how long Caitlin is going to put up with this. Because if these black girls are going to team up on and attack us like this, she can't last too long, right? Is Caitlin going to last? Because these black girls are mean and nasty. They don't care, especially about hurting. They don't care about hurting one another, other blacks, but they definitely don't care about the white people. I didn't know that one day you will order a meal or a package and the delivery truck would bring it to your house. And then and ring the doorbell. And while standing there waiting for you, sit the package down on the porch, right in front of the door, ring the bell, and wait for you to answer. And while the delivery man is waiting, somebody walk right in front of you, on the porch, and steal the package right in front of you, and look like you were black. I never thought I would see that in my country. This is from ABC. Ohio Porch pirate swipes package before the delivery driver even leave home. I want you to watch this closely. And this is in the United States of America. We are a third world country. Watch this from ABC. There go the white man.
Oh.
That what?
He just took the package. I sat down and I thought I heard a movement.
Isn't that amazing? Did you ever think for one time, one iota of a second, that that's what would be happening in America? Now, maybe the millennials and the Z's thought that this was possible because that's all they know. But for the generation before that, did you ever imagine that this would be happening in the United States of America? They let the inmates out. No bail bond, no nothing. You walk right into and do what you want. Did you ever imagine that? My country's gone. I want to show you that clip one more time so you can get the reality of what's going on. This delivery person literally walks up on the porch, set the package down, ring the doorbell, and somebody run up on him right in front of him and take it and run. No shame, no care, no how, knowing that he's not going to have to suffer for it. And this is why white people don't want to be around the blacks. White people know. So watch this again from ABC. Ohio Porch pirate swipe package before the delivery driver even leaves the home or home. Watch this. This is amazing to me.
Oh,
look at that.
He just took the package. I sat down and I thought I heard a movement.
That's not in Russia. That's not in China. That's not in Cuba. That's not in Mexico. That's not in that black country. That's in America. My country is no longer tears of thee. We don't have a culture anymore, a criminal culture.
Age of Inversion gave a rumble rant this morning early. Not sure if you guys heard, but Azzmador passed away. Rest in peace, Az.
Yeah, Hate told me about that this morning. If that's true, may Azzmador's soul rest in peace.
Yep.
He was always underground, right?
Oh, yeah.
So if he's underground, how do people know he died?
According to a news report from this news website is made by this guy who co-hosted with Azzmador just on Saturday. And he got a call from his mother saying that he died.
Oh, man. May his soul rest in peace.
Yeah, yesterday morning.
And he was never caught by the police, right?
Apparently
Wasn't he
not.
on run from the cops?
That's what I heard. I heard that he had like a bench warrant because he wouldn't show up because they were trying to sue him or something like that over the Charlottesville mess.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Well, if it's true, may his soul rest in peace.
Yeah.
Yeah.
57 years old.
Oh, that's young.
Mm-hmm.
Amazing.
Yeah.
They're having so-called Pride Month this month. They've been doing this for a while now in our country. And it's gotten so bad. And I never thought that, again, I just didn't imagine that my country would become a third world country. And it is. And it's happening like, it was already in the making, I hear, but it just happened fast now because of the type of government we have. And this is from
Libs of TikTok.
Libs of TikTok? Oh, thank you. There is something called Libs of TikTok. And according to this Libs of TikTok thing, the Tampa Police Department announces gay police badge for Pride Month.
We all want to feel safe and respected, no matter who we are. Our newest commemorative badge, one of 9 that members of the department can choose to collect or wear, is a symbol of our department's commitment to serving members of the LGBTQ+ community with understanding. By fostering open communication, we can make sure that everyone feels comfortable reaching out to the police whenever they need help. The badge incorporates the rainbow flag, as well as the 5-color chevron that represents people of color and the transgender community. Together, these colors symbolize the continued progress for marginalized groups within the LGBTQ+ community and the forward movement for inclusion within society. This badge can be a conversation starter, a way to show that we are allies, and a symbol of safety for those who might be hesitant to interact with the police.
We're here to listen, learn, and help you with anything that works towards creating a feeling of a safer, more inclusive community for everyone.
Amazing. This is amongst the dumbest idea I ever heard of. This is one of the dumbest ideas I ever heard of. My country is gone. I want my country back. A badge should just be a badge, represent the police. And it shouldn't be about people of color. They always include the people of color when they want to get their hell through, right? This is why women should not be police either. They bring in all this mess. They bring in all this mess. And if the so-called gay people feel not safe with the police, don't call them. All you gotta do is not call them. And don't break the law. But my country is gone. My country is gone. Did you ever imagine that you would hear such nonsense? And then they play this soft music and they say these soft words to try to make it sound right. My country's gone. It is no longer tears of thee. It's over now. And unfortunately, the Constitution's done with, and the generations, the Z generation, millennials and Zs, and then the generation to come after that, they won't even know what my country was, how amazing it used to be. They won't even know because this is all that they're going to get. And it's going to get worse. It will get worse. What both women and men appreciate in relationship, this woman, Sadia Khan and Tom Bayou. Watch this soundbite.
Now, a woman's instinct is always to be somewhat looked after. It doesn't even have to be financial, but just knowing that a man looks after her, that could mean, did you get home safe? Did you was work okay? Did you get on your flight okay? Just checking in. Women really value that, yeah? That checking in, whether it's financial investment or emotional investment, they need it in order to feel safe. For a man, the nurturing is really important for him. That nurture is their way of understanding you appreciate them. When you nurture them, they take it to mean you love and appreciate me. When you don't nurture them, they take it to mean that I'm an ATM here and no one cares about me. So they get drastic with their responses.
I think that any man that even attempt to do that and keeping the woman in hell, that's all ego. That is control, because a man is supposed to show the woman, the husband, in case that she has a husband.
Yeah.
How to come out of the hell. That's all ego. A man would go nuts keeping up with that kind of stuff, because the more he does it, the more she's going to want. And that is not normal for women to want that. That's an abnormal state of being. A man should never try to please a woman. And any man that does that, he does it for two reasons only. Number one, he wants sex. Number two, he's afraid of his woman.
Now, a woman's instinct is always to be somewhat looked after. It doesn't even have to be financial, but just knowing that a man looks after her, that could mean, did you get home safe? Did you was work okay? Did you get on your flight okay? Just checking in. Women really value that, yeah? That checking in, whether it's financial investment or emotional investment, they need it in order to feel safe. For a man, the nurturing is really important for him. That nurture is their way of understanding you appreciate them. When you nurture them, they take it to mean you love and appreciate me. When you don't nurture them, they take it to mean that I'm an ATM here and no one cares about me. So they get drastic with their responses.
We're talking about this woman on YouTube by the name of Sadia Khan.
Sadia Khan.
Sadia Khan. She's supposed to be also known as Sadia Psychology.
Yeah.
Is she like a pretend psychologist, or is she a real one?
Is she the real deal? You can't tell?
No. No, she said what they all say, especially with degrees.
But we'll give it.
Blasphemy.
She's not saying anything different than they all say. And she's having this conversation with a guy, something called Impact Theory.
Yeah.
With Tom Bayou. Bayou. Should a woman submit to a man? And I haven't seen it yet, so it's new to me too. Watch this.
Let me ask, should a woman submit to a man's leadership?
I think that when you meet a man who is such a safe bet and so secure, submission is a natural consequence. Now, if you refuse to do that because you don't see, like, it just goes against everything, the narrative you've been taught, you're depriving yourself of a really beautiful relationship. I'm not saying submit to every man, but a good man who cares about your well-being, you'd be a fool not to submit to him. You'd be a fool to argue with him. You'd be missing out on a great connection simply because you want to maintain your independence. But independence is overrated.
A woman should submit to her husband without any criteria at all.
Right.
And this woman have criteria. The man has to be a certain kind of man for the woman to submit. In her opinion, this woman's dumb. and that's what women do. And James kind of mentioned it. If they are Christian women, they say, well, I'll submit to him, and Lord, he submit to the Lord. But they're looking at this man, and they got this standard in their mind that the man have to live up to in order to do that, right?
Yeah.
Which would always be wrong. A woman is supposed to submit to the man because she's see that that's the right thing to do, not based on what she think he should or should not do or should or should not be. She does it because she's married to this guy and she's supposed to submit to her husband.
Yeah.
But these women like to set the standard of what I'll submit if. And that's not a submission. They use the blacks for everything that's wrong. And the blacks don't mind because the blacks think just because they're using them, they're showing love. They're only showing hate. CNN is reporting that Maryland Democratic governor pardoned more than 175,000 marijuana convictions on Monday. Watch this from CNN.
More than 175,000 marijuana convictions have been forgiven in the state of Maryland. Democratic Governor Wes Moore signed a mass pardon today for low-level charges impacting an estimated 100,000 people. It is the largest state-level pardon that we have seen in this kind in U.S. history.
This was a great day, not just for the individuals and the families. This was an important day for the soul of our state. And, you know, they've been going on, the Last Prisoner Project has actually been going around the country and asking individuals who are still languishing, still dealing with the impact of cannabis convictions, and asking them to write letters to lawmakers, telling their stories and asking lawmakers to act on it.
Amazing, huh? This is good for the state. And yet, the voters would turn right around again and vote for this guy. This guy is evil. He's for himself and no one else. Here's an example of how they use blacks, the blacks, anytime they want to create something nasty or dirty or evil or wrong. They use the blacks.
As President Biden said during his campaign, no one should be in jail for using or possessing marijuana. The reality is, while white, black, and brown people use marijuana at similar rates, black and brown people have been arrested, prosecuted, and convicted at disproportionately higher rates. The president's actions today further his commitment to reverse long-standing injustices and to right historic wrongs.
Amazing. So the blacks hear that, they're not going to do anything. And now they can get all type of crooked laws passed. All type of crooked laws passed. But this is the way of the world. This is good versus evil. We have evil. And blacks are being used for evil. Maine, according to the Revolver, I had never heard of this until today, or maybe yesterday. According to the Revolver, Maine is giving out boofing kits. Some of you might not have even heard of that. They keep coming up with new terms, right? Watch this from the Revolver.
So what boofing is inserting drugs into your rectum. And one of the main reasons people do it is because there's a lot of blood vessels in your rectum, a lot of surface area. I always recommend people try boofing because switching to snorting can be a little too big of a jump.
I love that because I think also that helps with our minds. So if you're having a really hard time, hitting and it's really starting to you're getting in your head about it and you're starting to get frustrated, just knowing that you do have an option of boofing or booty bumping is, I don't know, I think maybe brings a little bit more ease, right? You're like, okay, I'm getting really fucking frustrated. This is really it's not working. Okay, I have this other option too.
And then if you want to inject later because you really enjoy the rush from injecting, that's fine.
Every time you listen to the woman, you will suffer. Isn't that, they're having a conversation like it's a normal, intelligent conversation. Isn't that amazing? And they're supposed to be experts. When will you take, and I'm sorry, kids, I didn't mean for you to see all that. When will you take responsibility for your own life? If not now, when? You're responsible. Even if you're married, the husband is responsible for himself. The wife is responsible for herself. So, it's Wednesday. Every Wednesday. The last hour of the show on Wednesday is Manhood Hour. What is a man? What is a man?
It's an adult human male.
Manhood. Hillary or President Trump?
I voted for Hillary Clinton.
Beta male. A man is a male who turned to man. Alpha male. Live right, be right, and lead the way.
happy.
News there. Well, when you fly, you probably find yourself peeking into the cockpit, right? You want to see who's in control. Most of the time, it's a man. So when we found out United Airlines has more female pilots than any other airline, with both a female captain and aircraft maintenance supervisor who call Orlando home, we had to meet them.
At a major hiring crisis, a large number of American men in particular, men in their prime working years, are actually not working, and they're not even looking for work.
The badge incorporates the rainbow flag as well as the 5-color chevron.
Shots rang out around 10:50 Saturday night during Round Rock's annual Juneteenth celebration.
Said that your people have been fighting for 400 years. Man, your people stole. Your people stole.
Stop belly aching.
What a mess! Is that true that most of the pilots at United Airlines are female now? I'm changing my frequent flyer miles right away. Ain't no way. Man. I'm changing my frequent flyer miles. I used to fly to United all the time. But now I have to change. I remember the last time I took a flight and there was a female in the cockpit. And I thought, is she driving this plane? And then I found out there was a man, the head flying man was a man. I'm like, okay, I feel a little better here. I was like, what the? I wonder if that's true or that most of the females are running the United Airlines flying stuff. I have not heard of that before. At the bottom of this hour, I have a surprise for everybody you're going to love. You are going to love this surprise. The clip said United had the most women, not that majority women are running the thing. Okay, thank you, Nick. It didn't say that they had the most women running the pilot, but they had the most female pilot. Whatever. Okay, I feel better. It is Manhood Hour. And before I go back to the callers, and I will right after this, I want every human being to know what a real man is, what a man is, what a woman is, a real woman. And men are supposed to overcome being males and grow into manhood, being a man. Women are to overcome being females and becoming a woman, right? And in the New Testament, it's all laid out there. It's done. All you have to do is let go and let it be. 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 It's in the New Testament. And here is what a man is, and here's what a woman is. Watch this.
If, by Rudyard Kipling. If you can keep your head when all about you are losing theirs and blaming it on you, if you can trust yourself when all men doubt you, but make allowance for their doubting too, if you can wait and not be tired by waiting, or being lied about, don't deal in lies, or being hated, don't give way to hating, and yet don't look too good, nor talk too wise. If you can dream and not make dreams your master, if you can think and not make thoughts your aim, if you can meet with triumph and disaster and treat those two impostors just the same, if you can bear to hear the truth you've spoken, twisted by knaves to make a trap for fools, or watch the things you gave your life to broken, and stoop and build them up with worn-out tools, if you can make one heap of all your winnings and risk it on one turn of pitch and toss, and lose and start again at your beginnings and never breathe a word about your loss, if you can force your heart and nerve and sinew to serve your turn long after they are gone, and so hold on when there is nothing in you except the will which says to them, hold on. If you can talk with crowds and keep your virtue, or walk with kings, nor lose the common touch, if neither foes nor loving friends can hurt you, if all men count with you, but a none too much. If you can fill the unforgiving minute with 60 seconds worth of distance run, yours is the earth and everything that's in it. And, which is more, you'll be a man, my son.
That is so deep, I don't know what to do about it. I don't know what to say. That's from RuPaul, what's his name? Hake.
I'm blanking on his name. The guy from the InfoWars guy.
Rudyard Kipling.
Rudyard Kipling.
What?
Rudyard Kipling. I was thinking about the guy who put that video together.
Yeah, he did an amazing job with that.
Yeah.
And that is for every man and every woman. If you want that, you can have it. You can have it. But you got to die from the ego. You got to die from the ego. Harrison Smith put it together from InfoWars. Thank you, Harry. Harrison Smith. Harrison, thank you. InfoWars. I promise you, but you got to die from the ego. You got to let go and let life happen. And that's the New Testament. And that you can have a life like that, but you got to work on you, and you must die in order to live. The false you, the fake you, the lying you, the ego death must happen. And most people, not all, but most people are unwilling to die from the ego. They love their hell. They love their hell, and they love inflicting hell on you. They love it because it feels like life to them when they can hurt others. They don't know it's death. They don't know what they're doing to others, they're doing it to themselves because they have a false sense of life. They get a thrill out of trying to hurt someone. The human ego, the human nature is evil. The heart is wicked. But you can have that life. It's manhood, but that's for men and women. If you can do that, and you can if you work on it, it's all laid out. It's already done for you. You just have to walk into it. All right? Drop the anger. Let all bitterness go. Anyone that has anger is a murderer. Anyone that has anger hate good. They hate God. They hate the light. But you can have men and women, not men. Men and women, but you got to let go. You got to forgive. And you got to let the ego nature die in order to have that life. Isn't that amazing? And you can have it right here on earth. You don't have to wait until you die. Physical die, drop your body. You can have it right here. You can have it right now if you wanted it, but you don't really want it. Because if you wanted it, you drop your anger and your fears and your loneliness and all that. You let it go. You just let it go. But you won't let it go because you love your misery. And you love blaming others for your misery. Amazing. So I decided not to wear the patch anymore. I'm sick of it. It's a nuisance. And my eye is healing from the surgery. And I just want to leave it open so fresh air can hit the sunshine. And they said that an open wound tends to heal faster than a closed wound, I'm told. So it's healing. It's feeling better. It's itching, too, from the healing. I want to show you one of the most, and I say one, and every human being are guilty of ego until you start to really, really pay attention to you. You have been wishing the devil in your imagination, in your illusions, and calling him you. You just didn't know it. I understand that. I want to show you one of the worst acts of evil, just one, that I've ever seen in all my born days.
Big celebration for those working to help LA's unhoused population. It's taken 3 years, but the Weingart Tower is finished. The first residents could move in a matter of weeks. Fox 11's Susan Hirasuna joining us live from the 19th floor to give us a tour. Susan.
Yes, and Christine, let me just tell you, this is just one of the common areas for the residents. I want to give you a look at the view from the 19th floor, and let me tell you, this is a view that many people would pay good money for, but here, this building is specifically dedicated and fully dedicated to those who are low income or unhoused.
1, 2, cut.
Big name politicos posed for the ribbon cutting to celebrate the completion of Weingart Tower 1. 3 years of construction, and now the 19th floor high-rise is oh so close to welcoming the first of 278 tenants.
I know voters say, I voted for Proposition H, I voted for HHH, and I haven't seen anything. Well, now you can see what HHH has done. The amenities that are here, I know, are going to be talked about in a way that is not so positive. A gym, music, art, recreation are all the things that are needed to heal, that are all a part of mental health.
That's an example of one of the worst acts of evil I've ever seen. That building is for homeless people who are not earning it, who can care less. And a lot of them may move in, but they're not going to sleep there a lot of times because they love outdoors now. They'd rather sleep outdoors. And those that live there will destroy that building. Who has to pay for this? This is taxpayer money to a bunch of homeless people who are unwilling to take care of themselves. This is pure evil. And the taxpayer in California voted for it. Let's take another look at it within the next, probably less than 5 years, but I give you 5. It's going to look like another homeless, dirty, nasty, unkept place. Drug addicts everywhere.
Can I mention something?
Yes.
Interesting fact here. I'm on Weingart.org, okay? These are people who make these luxury housing or whatever, and on their website you can sponsor people, and it starts with $250 and it says you can invest in a life, help one person get off the street for a week, and you keep rising in amounts, and the next one is invest in job training, invest in a new beginning. It goes all the way up to $5,000, and it says invest in a woman, help one woman for 6 months.
Amazing.
I don't see a man in there.
What a mess. And you're going to fall for it because you're in a fallen state as well. Ladies and gentlemen, you're responsible for you. And you're hurting yourself by not taking responsibility for you. You're not hurting anyone but you. Really. You might not realize it. Nobody else cares. They may pretend they do. Oh, I care about you. I care about the mental illness. I care about, they're lying. Only you can care about you. And you care about you when you wake up. You are asleep. Anyone that has anger is asleep. This Weingart Center Tower 1 down in LA is an act of evil. It's not going to make anything better, I promise you that. Then people are going to feel good thrills. The stupid mayor of LA and the stupid Maxine Ward, all those other people standing around, they're going to feel good for a minute, and then they got to find another thrill, because that's not going to last. I had a conversation with a couple men and women around the country, around the world, in my counseling. We have the best counseling service on this side of heaven, by the way. Skype, phone, walk-in. Go to rebuildingtheman.com, rebuildingtheman.com, or call 800-411-BOND, 800-411-2663 if you want counseling. I had some amazing discussions in counseling yesterday with men and women. There are men and women, a few. Most is not going to do it. Most love their misery. They don't want out of their hell. That's why it's not good to go around teaching, because you're talking to the devil. You're giving the swine, you're throwing the truth over to the swine. They don't want it. Some of your closest best people you think you know hate the truth. They don't want it, so don't be trying to teach. Give them the knowledge if they ask for it, and then they'll find their way. But do not do it. If they don't ask, don't give. I'm telling you, it is Thursday. And for those who might not be aware, we take all calls, but every Thursday is Bible Thumper Thursday.
I know I'm supposed to go to my seat now, but my mama's a 10-year cancer survivor, and she's standing right there. Wave your hand, mama.
Somebody beside you don't understand your praise, but I want you to grab somebody around you that don't mind dancing, and I want you to hit the floor right now. Come on in here.
Jesus saw Zacchaeus and he levels the playing field. Jesus institutes an affirmative action program.
Line on Jesus.
I'm going to talk about Jesus.
Hallelujah.
That's too loud.
Okay, sorry.
Do it nicely.
Oh,
okay?
yes. Hallelujah.
What a mess. Oh, God. Super chat.
Super chat.
Super.
Regarding Roy, Mr. Roy donated that Cash App donation, Bond JLP, saying, "No, listen to the woman. Please explain suffering."
So, Roy, it sounds like you are suffering, and it's a question about listening to the woman.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It does sound like a question, right?
It sounds. You always say never listen to the woman.
Right.
So you may be asking, please explain.
The order of God is God in Christ, Christ in man, man over woman, and woman over children, right? So the love comes from above, down through Christ, through the man, through the woman, to the children. And whenever men listen to women, now women can pick up evil because they're closer to the ground, they're closer to hell. So you can, whatever with that. But every time you listen to the woman, you will suffer. And that's why you must forgive your mother so you can overcome the woman being your God. Being your God. Because of what Eve did, right? So forgive your mother so that your relationship with the spirit of the woman, which is evil, and not her, but that evil in her, you will no longer have a relationship with that. And then you will be able to deal with the woman in a perfect way. If you're suffering from it, it's only because you are listening to the woman. She is still your God. Forgive your mother, and God will give you a new mind. He will take away your mother's mind, her thought that you now have, her emotions, which are not her own. They're evil. They're not her, but it's in her. Everything would change, and then you would deal with the woman in the right way. But you got to forgive your mother first so God can forgive you. Return to your father. All right? I hope that's answered. If not, make it clear for me. Thank you.
Thank you, Roy, for that Cash App donation, Bond JLP.
Get on the straight and narrow, folks. Here's what I recommend as an assignment. Do what you want. Practice. I want you to just practice being present. Not in your head, not thinking about tomorrow or yesterday or what you want or don't want or what you have or don't have, who like you or don't like you, what they're saying about you or not saying about you. Don't even think about those things. Or what you want to wear or not wear. Don't think about those things. Just stay present. Practice being present instead of living a life of unconsciousness. Because anyone that has anger, first of all, is evil. You're evil. Your nature is evil. You are evil. Secondly, forgive, and then practice being present. You'll see. I'm telling you. You will see. It'll blow your mind. Do the silent prayer. Forgive. So, it is Friday. Already. Again. It's amazing how this Friday is here already.
What the?
A friend of mine got married last Saturday, and it was like, already it's a week. Isn't that amazing?
What the?
Next time you look around, they're going to be old with grandchildren. Amazing. Isaac Palmer and now Rebecca Palmer. Congratulations to them. I was supposed to be at the wedding, but I had to have eye surgery that day. But congratulations. I wish them well. I think they're going to be fine. If they continue the way they're going, they're going to be fine. Amazing. And Isaac did it the right way. Amazing. Had a nice job, right? Had a job, got a job. Bought him a home, got everything right before he got married, and brought the woman into his world. He did not go into her world. That is so unusual and rare now that it's not even funny. But in the good old days, when men got married, they would have a job. They didn't have to have a stupid degree. They just had a job. They were able to provide, right? They bought a house around 25 or so. They bought themselves a home. That's how Isaac did it. Bought a home. I think he's around 25, or he bought the home around 25, 26. Then he got married and brought the woman into his world and not go into her world. Because when you go into the woman's world, all you're going to catch is hell. Look at the men, the males who have gone into the woman's world. They live in her house. They ride on the passenger side of her car. They stay home and be house mama, house wife, whatever they call them. They're catching hell. It's not going to work that way. It can't work that way. It's not meant to work that way. It ain't going to work that way. So congratulations to Isaac Palmer and now Mrs. Rebecca Palmer. Amazing. But anyway, it's Friday. And Friday, every Friday is Get It Off Your Chest Friday. Every Friday is Express Yourself Friday.
You Tom like a mug. You need to go and get yourself bleached, because everything you say about black people, and you're sitting up there looking like a tar baby.
It might sound like a semantics argument, but he's a gray alien.
I wonder if he's been smoking pot.
You or someone you love has been a victim of a porch pirate. That package that you're so excited about just gone off your stoop before you can even open it. And it's hard to believe, but these porch pirates are getting even more brazen.
Governor Moore would be forgiving marijuana-related charges for roughly 100,000 people.
Our country is not the same anymore.
It's our 5-year anniversary, and today I wanted to share my husband's reaction to seeing my face for the first time.
Let go! It is not the same anymore, Gary.
This is the 16th year of this Juneteenth event here in the city of Round Rock.
We grieve with the families who have lost loved ones and stand with those who were injured.
It's not even the same neighborhood anymore. We've seen a lot of unscooped poop on the Strand in the South Bay.
Dog owners should know the number 1 rule. Pick up those number 2.
Hey, your dog's been shit all over the carpet.
Wow. Amazing, huh? What a mess. I want my country back. That's an amazing video. Thank you, Anchor Baby. What a mess.
Amazing.
What a mess. Human nature, human beings, human nature, human beings are wicked. When you wake up, and some of you are, a few of you are, only a handful. Some of you think that you are waking up and you're not. Some of you get on the path to waking up and you get off. But a handful, just a handful, get on that path, and if it takes a lifetime, they stay there. And that's what you want to do. Commit to stand on that path a lifetime. A lifetime. Human nature is evil. It's evil. And human nature has no love. Nobody love nobody. Your family don't love you. You don't love them. Nobody love you. Ain't no such thing. She's up there letting her dog take number 2 in the airport. And the person complained about it. She gives them the finger. and walk away. It appears that she walked away from it. I don't know how she finally ended it. Would you ever do that with your dog, Hassan? In the airport, let him dump in the airport and not clean it up?
Well, I plead the fifth on this because I've had a few incidences like that.
Inside the airport?
Not the airport, but I've been, I don't want to dox the locations, as
Right.
Hake would say, but
Yeah, don't do that. But just say you've been in a store or wherever it was.
I've been in some really nice outdoor malls.
And your dog used the bathroom in the mall and you didn't pick it up?
Yeah.
Amazing.
It was embarrassing.
But why not pick it up then?
You know, because then you're drawing more attention to the whole situation. Sometimes you just got to keep it moving.
But how were you able to walk away from it without feeling like, you know what, that's my responsibility?
No, I felt bad.
But you're not bad enough to clean it up?
No. Isn't that something?
Wow.
I know, it's disappointing. I'm disappointed.
I told you human nature is evil.
It's true. It's true.
Wow.
I know.
I'm surprised you said yes. I didn't think you would say yes to that.
I didn't either. And this time I'm not even trying to be funny or entertaining. This is actually shameful. I'm ashamed. Because if I saw someone do that, I'd give them the death penalty.
It's
People
awful.
like that should get the death penalty.
It's amazing.
If you throw stuff out of your car, you know, you see people just throw trash out of their window of their car. I'm like, who are you? But I do it.
Amazing. Okay. I want my country back. It's not coming back. It's not coming back. The Bible, I'm doing the quotation sign thing, Hake. The Bible says, Christ said, God said, human heart is evil. Salvation is of the heart. You change the heart, everything else will change. But the hardest thing is for a human being heart to change because the individual will not admit that they are wrong. They have anger. They're judging. They're playing God. Amazing. There is this female by the name of Cori Bush. And Cori Bush is a so-called black representative. And she is a mess. She is the daughter of the devil. A real mess, too. But according to PBS, in a PBS interview, so-called Representative Cori Bush says she cured a homeless woman's tumor by putting her hands on them. Watch this.
You're a pastor.
Yes.
You write about healing through faith. At one point, you came across a woman with, quote, several visible tumors on her torso. Tell me what happened.
Tell me
so
what happened.
At that time, I, along with a group of friends, we would go out on the street and just meet with people and pray with people and offer them food. And this lady came to us and she had these tumors. I mean, she wanted us to like feel them. And I just remember I put my hand on her and my hand just began to move. And the lumps that were there were no longer there. And she was so happy and she like went on about her day. And I never saw her again.
So you think the tumors disappeared?
I do. And this woman was unhoused. She's someone who, you know, had been sleeping in the shelters and sleeping on the street.
Unhoused? Oh, man, everybody want to be a healer, except baby Jessica's daddy. They should have asked Cori Bush right there, do you love white people? Do you love the Jews? Do you love white people? Do you love the Jews? Amazing. Unhoused. Homeless. I remember when they used to call homeless a bum on the street. And now then they changed it to homelessness. And now they try to call it unhoused. What the? That's how they've done with the word hatred. In the good old days when boys were boys and men were men, they would say you hate your mother. You hate your father. You hate yourself, right? And it was strong, and it made the person look at themselves so that they can see and admit to themselves that they had hatred in their heart. Because anyone that has hatred is separated from good, from God. And then they say, oh, that word is too strong. Who want to say they hate their mama? It was okay as long as you said you hated your daddy, but who want to say you hate your mama? And they changed that word to resentment. You resent your mother? Well, after a while, resentment became too hard. And so they changed it to anger. Now they want to change that to something. Unhoused, what does unhoused don't mean? It doesn't mean a thing. Remember they used to call it a hobo. Who is in control or in charge of changing these words? Is there like a head group somewhere? You should have asked Cori Bush about abortion. Since she's doing all that healing of the hand, the daughter of the devil. Don't blame Cori Bush. She was born with a silver spoon in her mouth. What a wicked woman. Wicked female. I never thought that I would see my country turn from amazing to trash, to a third world country. According to PIX 11, migrant charged in rape of a 13-year-old girl in Queens Park. Watch this soundbite.
He a rapist. He don't care. He don't care that
he faced street justice when residents of this Corona neighborhood recognized him from this wanted poster. They knew he was a regular at this bodega, so they all got together and waited.
He will come to the store, buy his snacks and everything.
Late Monday night, Christian Giovanni Inga Landai's bodega run resulted in a beatdown.
He's right there. Look at him right there. We beat.
He got on him first and started hitting him. Girl that recorded was hitting him. He had him down. We all just basically retaliated for the 13-year-old little girl because it's not right what he did to her.
Daniel Ramos tells Pix 11 News it was all hands on deck. 6 to 10 of his friends sprung into action when they saw Landi. They say they confirmed it was him by pulling off his shirt. That's when they saw the distinctive tattoo on his chest. Outnumbered and taking a beating, first the 25-year-old migrant from Ecuador tried to run.
Amazing. Where are the police? No police, and people got to fight for themselves now. No police. No one cares. No love. Isn't that amazing? Remember when that wasn't happening in America? At one time, that was not happening, that I was aware of. Remember that? At one time, that was not happening in America, and now it's commonplace. It's not even unusual. It's hardly a shocking news report anymore. And just think about this. Yes, that guy is to blame for what he's done, been accused of doing, but the government is to blame for it. They let him in. They open the gate, give them cell phones, catch them and release them in other parts of the country. They give them hotel rooms, 5-star hotels. They feed them. They give them money, free education, and they rape the white women. Or women, period, whatever color that woman was. Not sure. Now, do you believe me when I tell you that my country is over? Why can't you face that? All human beings are about self only. I was looking at a report where these so-called mothers are pretending to be upset about their children being online. And apparently they're seeing all different kind of things online. And these mothers all of a sudden are pretending that they are upset about it. They're lying. They're not upset about it at all. Period. They just want to go on TV and complain and pretend they started a group to change it. They're all about themselves. If they love their children and if they were truly cared about what's on the phone, number one, they would stay home and raise the children, raise the man's children. Number two, they wouldn't be giving the phones to the children because they would have the patience and love to raise the children. They don't care. You can't blame the cell phone company for that. You're responsible for your kids, not the cell phone. They don't make you go down to the store or go online and buy those phones for their children or those whatever they get them. They do it because they don't love the children and they ain't got time for them. They don't have the patience or anything. And plus, they want to go out and work like a man so they can feel fulfilled. It's all a game. I talk about how I want my country back and that it's never coming back. It's never, ever, ever my country, my America, which used to be amazing, it's now gone. It's a third world country. As Sion said in the super chat, it's a third world country now. I asked Hate to hang out with me for a minute. I wanted him to respond to this soundbite, and you ought to see it too. And I've often wondered why white Americans, for the last 70 years, give or take, white Americans shut down and they stopped fighting for the greatest country on this side of heaven. And they gave it over to the complainers who only destroyed the country and are still destroying the country. They have not done one thing to make it better. Zero in 70 years. But white people stopped fighting for America, a country that was founded by white men, and with the help of God, created the best country on this side of heaven. And the white men went through hell building this country. But white people stopped fighting for it. And I often wonder why did I start hearing, when I started radio, I first started out in radio, that people would call me and they say, well, white people feel guilty. Why? Because black people were enslaved and black people have made them feel guilty. But you never had anything to do with it, and slavery wasn't as bad as the blacks were trying to pretend that it was. They're only pretending that it was bad because they want the blacks to be angry so they can get into government, they can make money, they can use the blacks. Slavery wasn't what you've been told it was, right? But the white people feel guilty. But white people you don't need to feel guilty. Even if it was true, let's say slavery was the worst thing that ever happened, right? It wasn't your fault. You weren't around. But the white feel guilty. Well, a few years ago, comedian Louis C.K. revealed why some Americans are okay with the immigrant crisis. Watch this from Revolver.
But my feeling is they should open it, the border, and just let them pour in, let everybody pour in, and then the answer, which is, well, then there'll be all these problems. Yes, there should be. It shouldn't be so great here, is what I'm saying, in America. It shouldn't be. It's a weird thing to sequester a certain group of people and try to keep upping their lifespan and their lifestyle and just keep trying to increase that for this group of people. And then this pressure of people trying to come in so they can enjoy it. And then it gets worse and worse down here. I mean, I'm not Canada. It's really just from down here. There's something wrong with that. That's not a system that's working. And it forces people to do cruel things to other people. There's a lot of people that die so Americans can be safe.
That was some C.K. Louis C.K., a comedian from the Revolver. What do you say to that, Hank?
I remember when this went viral, I covered it once on my show.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, this guy, he is not a Christian, I don't think. And he is not manly either in his thinking.
But
he's more of like a spread the misery type of a person.
It sounds like that.
That's what socialists
See how
are
people
about.
love their misery?
Yep.
It's like it's too nice to have American, taking care of American, building America. We got to make it bad.
Force the others to get their act together, not enable them to spread their mess over here. I'm shaking my head.
At first, I thought it was a joke.
No.
Because it says that he's a comedian.
He is, yeah.
How do you know he wasn't joking about that?
Because he is an emotional, angry, openly nasty person.
Oh,
he hates Trump.
Oh, yeah?
As I recall.
I've never heard this guy.
Oh, yeah.
That I'm aware of.
Yeah. He's like red-haired, but he's not like a normal white. I think he might be Jewish. But he is crazy.
It sounds like if he's serious about this, he's totally insane.
Yeah.
No, totally insane.
And a lot of comedians like to get into their head and thoughts and think about stuff and flip things,
Right.
invert logic. So that's what he.
This person's insane.
Yeah.
But that's how all angry human beings are. They're insane.
Yeah.
That I couldn't believe that. That's
psycho.
insanity, folks. That's what an example of insanity. What it look like. All right.
You have it too good. We need to bring you down a notch. You're too safe from crime. Everybody else has to die. It has to
That
die.
don't even
so
make
that-
sense. But
I know that,
understand.
and the reason that we're doing well in America is not because they're doing poorly.
Right. We ain't got nothing to do with their problems. Their problems are their problems in their country, and it has nothing to do with us at all.
Not the normal people.
Zero.
You could say, oh, the government is meddling over there and causing problems over there because the U.S. government does meddle and give
Other
stuff
people
and enable
business.
stuff. Yeah. But that has nothing to do with us.
Right. Joel said, if we could jail one person from freedom of speech, it should be him. It's him.
Indeed.
And then I want you to respond to this, and then I got to move back to the callers. I want all of you to respond to this. This is so interesting what I'm about to share with you. George Peterson, previous guest on the
radio show, actually.
It was on the radio show, but we played it on my Father's State show last Friday. Jordan Peterson is a psychologist. He has a discussion about vices with Matt Fradd, host of, what's that?
Pints with Aquinas.
What?
It's the name of a show.
Pint with Aquinas?
I think that it has to do with beer. It's kind
Oh.
of like, because
Is
a
it-
lot of those old Christians, I think he was like a monk or something. He was a very smart, intellectual, academic, Thomas Aquinas.
I'm being told it's a prominent Christian/Catholic podcast.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
St. Thomas Aquinas.
Nice. Okay. I just never heard of it before. But right on. This is from YouTube. George Peterson give his solution on how to stop indulging in adult content. Watch this. I hope it's
I
clean.
have worked a lot with people who are trapped in pornography and want to be free.
Mhm.
I would love your advice here. 2 questions. One would be, why should young men quit porn? And then what's your advice to young men who feel like it's just inevitable? Like I started when I was young. I've tried all the tricks and tips. I don't know how to stop. I keep promising myself I'll
You
stop,
can't
only to
stop.
go back
You
like a
can't
dog to its
stop.
vomit. So first
You
of all,
never stop.
why should they think about quitting porn first of all? 'Cause I
Well, no
guess-
one ever quits anything. They replace it with something better. Most reliable cure for alcoholism is religious transformation. And that's been known even among the secular, what would you say, psychiatrists for like 80 years. You need a replacement. So I would say to young men who are listening to this podcast, for example, if you want to stop engaging in a self-destructive, impulsive, and juvenile habit, whatever it is, make a plan.
You say?
Make a plan, did he say?
He said make plans if you want to stop juvenile behavior. Make plan. What do you say?
It's interesting. He did say that you replace it with something else.
Right.
And a lot of the alcoholics turn all like Christian, turn all like born again. And they do, but they become like angry and over aggressive, and you can't really get along with them. He kind of knows that fallen state human nature and how you can fix yourself and still stay in that fallen state a little bit. You can fix some of your physical habits a little bit. And you'll hear different people say, like one of your other former guests about the porn thing, he doesn't even look at that stuff. And when you look at it, it's like it's not as big of a deal. He won't even let himself look at it. Who was that said that? But it was a guest on your show.
Okay.
Yeah. Roosh was on your show and said that.
Okay.
And so...
Amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, what?
Right on, Jordan B. Peterson. Except I didn't really like that blazer.
Was that a Catholic blazer? I thought it was a Catholic design. Looked like it had Catholic stuff
Yeah, it
on
has
it.
like Catholic comics on it.
Right.
Like a collage.
Nice. Number one, in order to overcome adult content, is that you got to stop identifying with it. You got to stop. Number one, don't even try to overcome it. Don't identify with it. Don't call it you, and it will disappear. But if you go and find something else, like let's say you're doing the adult content, and then you start drinking, I hate use. That's not gonna make you better. You just went from one thing to cover up what's wrong to another thing. That's not gonna make your situation better at all. You gotta face it, but don't fight with it. Don't identify with it. Because the adult content is not the problem. It is keeping you from facing the real problem. It's not the problem at all. It's like smoking pot. Smoking pot is not the problem. The reason you smoke pot is the problem. And the reason you smoke pot in the same way with adult content is because you don't want to face the problem. You won't deal with the reality of what's really wrong. And that's why. Amazing. Here's from YouTube, Jordan Peterson. Jordan explains his online program that encourages you to envision a future self. Watch this.
We have a program online at selfauthoring.com called Future Authoring. It's like it helps you make a vision. So you're ashamed of yourself for some reason. That's why your conscience is calling at you. You know you're taking the easy way out. Okay, what are you being called to? Why are you plagued by doubts about the appropriateness of your behavior? Well, because something is beckoning to you. Well, what? An unrealized vision. Picture yourself 5 years out, and you've let your bad habits take full control, but you're 5 years older. Right. So what does that look like?
Yeah,
well, it should
not
be
good.
scary. Like, what's the little hell your whims are aiming at?
Mm-hmm.
So what are you? You're the 35-year-old creep at the bachelor party who's still involved with pornography, who still has the mind of a 16-year-old and is getting kind of perverse around the edges because everything he watches is getting a little more brutal, right? You're that kind of scum rat creep. That's your destiny. You want that?
You say?
I remember when you interviewed him, he talked about his self-authoring thing.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he talked about that website thing where you kind of plan out what you think that you want in your future. It sounds like he's trying to put fear in you. and it sounds judgmental.
So he's telling the people to envision themselves 5 years from now?
Yeah.
He said to envision yourself? But how can you do that when there is no 5 years from now?
The only thing that I grant him as like a nice point is that with your habits establish where you end up, your current habits, what you're into.
Right.
It establishes kind of where you end up if you end up at all. Like you don't even know if you're going to live tomorrow, right? But you end up messing up yourself.
What? And you're right in that. He's right, and I guess that's what you were saying. He said, I think. He's right in that. I don't know what he's right about. Say that again. Because how can you even God said think not about tomorrow? It doesn't even exist.
Right.
So how can you think about 5 years from now and fix yourself?
What he just said right there was not what you want to be, but what you are if you stay on the path that you're on, what you will be. So he's encouraging you, in my opinion, he was kind of encouraging you not only to judge yourself in the present, but to judge yourself in the future if you stay in with what you're doing in the present.
And then how would that help you overcome them?
It'll scare the HE double toothpicks out of you.
Which will make you worse.
But if you can kind of envision nice things and stuff that you want to do, then maybe you can have a goal and start making a plan and following that plan.
But making a goal is not going to help you overcome those kind of situations.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I know. Let me see what Montel said. It's a writing exercise that basically asks you lots of questions about what you want in the future. That's what his program is about? It's a writing exercise?
According to him, yes.
But how do you know what you want in the future? We don't know what we want at all. We have no idea.
It's what you think that you or feel like you want. Whatever, man.
No, I'm just asking.
No, you're asking and laughing. And
no, I'm laughing at the way you respond.
All right.
But when you don't know what you want, how can you write what you want?
But you write what you think you want, and then sometimes people get great things, and even in the fallen state, achieve great things.
No one get anything great from thinking.
I know, but they make Facebook, they make Google, they make airplanes. There's all kinds of cool stuff.
But that's just tools.
Right.
Okay. So you can't envision what you want when you don't know what you want. And all thoughts are all lies all the time.
Yeah.
The only time you can do something like that is, let's say you want to build a house and you want an 8-bedroom home and you want to design it this way. You use that for that purpose.
Yeah.
But once the house is built, that's it. You still got your problems.
True.
Right?
Yeah, although some of the habits that you break...
And maybe that's what he's saying.
I think it kind of is, and also like different habits that you do can add to your miseries. You can have even like worldly habits. You can have habits that are better than other habits. It's true. It's a fact.
Right. Why are you laughing?
Because you're laughing at me.
I'm laughing with you.
Nice.
Nice. Last but not least, this is the last one from George Peterson on YouTube. Here's where George says channeling negative emotions is useful to avoid the problem. Watch this. I've not heard these before that I remember. Go ahead.
Right, you need both of those. That's why in the archetypal realm, the moral landscape is anchored with heaven and hell. You need something to run the hell away from.
Yeah.
Right? Because that avoidance motivation, all that negative emotion, that's really useful.
Okay.
Like anger's part of that too.
Yeah.
You want to have that
Motivate
behind
you.
you.
Yeah.
Damn right. You want your fear, you want Satan behind you, pushing you forward.
Okay.
Right? Exactly. Not in front of you, barring your way.
But there needs to be something to run to.
Well, that's the other thing, is that gives you incentive pleasure, and that's exactly what drugs do. That's also what pornography does. Like technically, you experience a dopaminergic release in relationship to a goal. And when all the drugs of addiction produce dopaminergic release, all the bad habits, right? You got to replace that. Well, with what? Movement towards a valid goal. Well, what's your goal? What do you want in a relationship? Like if you could have what you wanted, what would it look like? Think about it, vision it, envision it, imagine it, let it reveal itself to you. Yeah. You know, how could you serve your community? Flesh it out.
I want to interview Peterson again.
Nice.
What do you say to that?
I was cracking up because guess that's a Catholic podcast host talking to him.
Right.
And he's like, yeah. Yeah.
No, I saw
Matt
that.
Frad, I guess that was. That's scary. I think that's why this guy's had so many different issues, partly. Because he's had a lot of issues that he's gone through.
Right.
Jordan Peterson.
Right.
I don't know. I don't think he's out of it yet, out of his hell yet. He doesn't seem I don't get a feeling of peace and calm and real confidence when I'm hearing him rattle this stuff off. He's talking about manipulating your fallen state self to make the best out of it, which it's okay in like a worldly sense, but it's not. It's just basically still miserable, and you're headed for trouble. And he's talking about having this. He's talking about listening to the father of lies.
Yep. That advice is so bad and so wrong. And I understand he's intellectual. He's doing his best. Yeah. I do understand that. But that information is so wrong that will only get you deeper into hell. You ain't going to find heaven in that at all. It's going to only get you deeper into hell. That's too bad, but I understand. But that is insane. All emotions are evil. and not necessary. Those so-called good emotions that make you feel good and those so-called bad emotions that make you feel bad are all evil and not necessary at all. And the last but not least, and I got to move on here, is that there is no you to, what do you say, envision the future? There is no you to envision the future. If there's no you to envision the future that doesn't exist, how are you going to do that? How are you going to do that? And if you go into the mind to think that it's you in the mind envision the future, you're worshiping the devil. It's all an illusion. That is, I want to use the word horrible, but I know it's horrible. It's evil. It's pure evil. He's doing his best, but it's pure evil. Anyone that want to wake up, you can. But you got to want it as an individual. You can't bring anyone along with you on this straight and narrow path. This journey must be traveled alone. And you must be willing to leave everything, everybody, and everything behind. As he said to the rich young ruler guy, Christ, how can I follow you? I have everything. What do I need to do to follow you? He asked. Ask. He said, do you really want to follow me? Yes, I have everything. What can I do? Forget about mama, forget about daddy, forget about children, forget about places, forget about things, forget about you, and follow me. He's like, what the? Is you crazy? I can't do that. Forget about sex, forget about your woman, and follow me. Is you crazy? And he dropped his head and went away. Unless you're willing to do that, you ain't gonna make it. It ain't gonna happen. You can only love the truth along with nothing else or nobody else or nothing else first. Otherwise, it ain't gonna work. It just ain't gonna work. It's up to you. Amazing. Thank you all. I appreciate it. Let me see what Bella has to say. Our first time caller out of California. Bella, real fast.
Hi.
Hey, Bella.
Hey, how can Satan be a god? He can't create anything.
Because the women make him their god by obeying him.
But he still can't be a god.
If in your mind he is, though.
The what?
In your mind he is God.
In nobody's mind. Like, he can literally not create.
But he, in the mind of women who believes him, he became their God. Bella,
only women?
No, anyone that believe in him, anyone that believe the imagination, Satan is their God. But it comes through the woman.
Okay, so you too.
Call me Monday. Will you call me Monday?
Sure.
And I'll take your call as soon as you call in.
Sounds good.
About the time. Call me Monday, Bella. I am so out of time. Get on the straight and narrow. Do what you want, but I recommend if you want life and not death, get on the straight and narrow. Forgive your mothers, forgive your grandmothers, forgive your fathers, and you'll return to God. He will change your heart. All right? Do the silent prayer. Be still and know God. Be quiet. Shut up. Be still and just observe. You want to observe life, not create life. Observe life. You're not the creator. You're not God. I know a lot of you think you are, but you're not. You want to let life happen. You can't make anything. Don't try to make a relationship happen or anything. Let it happen. All right, bye, y'all. Thank you.